Everyone thinks the quantum field responds to positive thinking. But after years of research, I discovered that it only responds to one thing: coherence. So, what am I talking about today? I'm talking about the frequency and vibration that you get on. A lot of people have watched, shows and movies that have to do with the law of attraction. However, it's given them a false impression as to what the law of attraction really truly is. And they tend to think that if they just say positive affirmations every single day and think about the things that they want, that they will just somehow magically appear in their life. But the truth is, that's actually false. You see, the universe is a gigantic mirror, and it's going to resonate to the brain-heart coherence that you're vibrating at. If you're out of sync, your reflection from the universe will be out of sync. You have to think of the universe as a giant mirror. It's a mirror that's going to reflect back at you exactly what you are, what you're vibrating at. And so if you're doing affirmations, that's great. Don't stop doing that. If you're focusing on things that you want to manifest, that's great. Don't stop doing that. But are you doing them in the right way? That's the question. Doing positive affirmations, but being out of sync with your mind and your coherence will put you in a state of ambiguity when it comes to dealing with the universe. The universe needs specificity. It needs to know exactly what your desires are and exactly what vibration you're truly on. When you send a confusing vibration out, it becomes an ambiguous signal to the universe, and it's going to send back to you that same exact ambiguous vibration and frequency, giving you haphazard results, okay? So affirmations alone don't work. There's a missing component there. The quantum field responds to coherence, not words. And so when we're looking at coherence, we're talking about ideas that flow logically, organized thoughts that are aligned with your frequency and vibration, and also align with the future version of yourself, the future version that already has manifested the things that you are looking to create in your reality tunnel. Your mind and your heart will synchronize to that brain-heart coherence. And when those two brains, because your heart is also a brain, are synchronized, in other words, you feel the manifestation in your brain heart, and you have consciously created this future reality in your conscious brain, all of a sudden now, it's all about taking the right decisions and actions toward that actual goal. But when these two are out of sync, you don't send the proper signal to the universe of exactly what you're looking to manifest. Brain-heart coherence is the real manifestation key, and most people are not even aware of it. Most people haven't even heard of it. There's a place called the Heart Math Institute where they have done scientific experiments in laboratory settings that prove exactly what I'm talking about. That there is this connection, this direct connection between the mind and the heart. The heart is considered a second brain. And you even have a third brain. That's for another podcast. That's your gut. But right now we're talking about your brain, which is inside of your skull, really your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and your heart, which is another version of a subconscious mind. You can be thinking about doing one particular thing, but your heart can pull you in a totally different direction. We all know this. Anyone who's been in a relationship will know that your heart literally has its own mind. Now, it's about getting the two brains in synchronicity with each other, getting the coherence. That's important, right? Getting this coherent plan that's going to play out, that the mind and the heart move in resonant frequency and vibration to what you actually want to manifest. If you can imagine the universe, if you can just close your eyes and see the universe having a frame around it, and that the universe is actually a mirror, and you're looking at this universal mirror, behind the reflection, you can see galaxies, right? You can see stars, planets in this great vast mirror. And when you stand in front of it, you also see a reflection of yourself. But that reflection of you is actually a version of you from the future. That's your future self. Now, I know this sounds crazy. It sounds really metaphysical, but scientists just did this experiment recently, and they recently released the results. That there is this quantum field that exists, and in this quantum field, they have something called the quantum mirror. And they were able to send a reflection of photons into the quantum field, and the photons came back. They reflected back, but they reflected back from the future. This is real peer-reviewed science. So if mainstream science has now released this information, it tells you that the ancients knew exactly what they were talking about. And now more into the current era, the Brain Heart Institute as well at HeartMath know exactly what they're talking about as well. That you are part of this quantum field. And as you consciously send your light waves into this field, they're going to reflect back a version of you. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's something called an EEG cap. It looks like this kind of a weird looking helmet that they put on top of your head. It's non-invasive, meaning it doesn't penetrate your skin or your scalp in any kind of way. There's no needles or anything like that. But what they do is they have sensors, little tiny circular sensors all around this helmet. And so when they put it on your head, these sensors pick up the light waves that are leaving your skull. Every thought that you think leaves your skull as a wave of light, a light wave that you can't see because human beings can only see less than 1% of the light spectrum, but it's light nonetheless. And this light is encoded with what? Data. The same way that we send light waves to cell phones. So when you get a phone call on your cell phone or send a text message, the microwave, which is actually a wave of light that you, again, can't see, is encoded or piggybacked with data. Data is piggybacking and riding that microwave frequency into your device. Your device decodes that light wave called a microwave that has the data on it, converts it into zeros and ones, and you can see or hear whatever it is. Well, that's only a fractal of the way everything works in the real world. We can only recreate things that already exist. We can't create something new. As above, so below, one of the greatest principles in the ancient Hermetic principles or the Emerald Laws. So what does that mean? It means that your mind is transmitting into the universe on a consistent basis every want, need, desire, and thought that ever exists inside of your mind. We're transmitting consistently into the field, whether you like it or not, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Even when you're dreaming, you're transmitting. It's important to understand this because this is a huge part of why we may not be manifesting the life and desires that we want. It could be because of this transmission that we are unaware of. I can be saying my affirmations, but at the same time having negative thoughts. I can say my affirmations and 5 minutes later I can walk outside and somebody can, cut me off in traffic and I can curse them out. Well, I didn't kind of stay in my vibration, did I? I'm out of brain-heart coherence. I'm out of synchronicity with the vibration and the frequency that I set early on. So because I'm not truthfully in sync, the frequency that's being transmitted to the universe is very, very strange. It's not coherent. And so because it's not coherent, I will get a mix of signals coming sent right back at me from the quantum field, just like the scientists discovered in a laboratory setting. This is real science. I learned about this in 2018 when I went to a space symposium. And at this symposium, I went to a room for private space technology and I had to sign an NDA. And I had to get TS approval, TS clearance, top secret clearance for private space, which I did. In this room, I learned about incredible potential future inventions and things that already exist, even test studies that have been done on certain technologies. The quantum mirror was one of them, and I can disclose that now because it's been released to the general public. This is one of the most incredible findings of all time, and it's not even being talked about consistently on mainstream news. The fact that this quantum field, number one, is real. I've been talking about it for 15 years. Number two, the fact that you can send waves of light encoded with data into the field. And number three, they reflect back at you with different data on them. That's massive. If anyone can really truthfully wrap their mind around this, they will begin to understand the implications. The implications are massive. It means that we are able to transmit our own conscious thought light waves into the field, which exists all around us, and expect something to come back. So this talk for all these generations and all these workshops and videos you've been hearing about the universe being a mirror and reflecting back at you, and what you put out is what you're going to get back and all that stuff. It's not fake. It's actually now officially real, peer-reviewed science. They've discovered this. So, since science is now finally aligning with the ancient past, we have to understand how can we really manipulate this to our benefit, to our favor. How can we bend the universe to our will? Well, it starts with being in brain-heart coherence. Daily coherence practices for instant manifestation. And so you need to understand first is meditation. One of the greatest ways to get back into brain-heart coherence when you get thrown off is to, let's say that you're having a bad day and things are just getting really off and you're really getting agitated. Now you're out of coherence. You're out of the frequency that you set early in the morning. It's been shifted. Find yourself a place, even if you have to go sit in your car, in a room, in a closet, anywhere, and sit down, and you're going to take 20 deep breaths. You're going to focus on a moment of gratitude, something that was great in your life, a memory that was so happy and so great, you'll never forget it until the day you die. Okay? One of those lifetime memories that were just so incredible. Everyone has to have at least one memory that was great. Think about that. Focus on that. At the same time, taking 20 deep breaths, inhaling for 4 to 6 seconds, holding for 1 second, and then exhaling through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, 4 to 6 seconds, hold, exhale through the mouth. At the same time, focusing on that one incredible great memory that you had. Now, while you're doing this and you're breathing, you're also focusing on the gratitude of that moment. Get into the gratitude, emotionally feel, relive that moment and emotionally feel the gratitude of that actual moment. And by the time you get done with this very quick therapy session that you've done on yourself, this self-therapy, I guarantee you, you will be right back in brain-heart coherence. You will be right back in synchronization with yourself and with the future version of yourself that you want to manifest. That's how you get back into brain-heart coherence. And you can do this anytime, anywhere, as many times as you need per day. It's a little trick that I learned, and this particular brain-heart coherence study and trick actually is one of the things learned in heart math. So it's been studied. It's not just off the dome. And if you do this, you have a great chance of being right back on the positive high vibrational frequency that you want to be on, okay? And so these are some of the techniques that you use to get into that right vibration, the right frequency, so that you're projecting the right thought waves, the right conscious energy into the field. You always want your dominant energy to be coherent. If your dominant energy is not coherent, it doesn't make any sense to the universe. The universe is, like we always say, a mirror. So when you send ambiguous information into the mirror, it's going to send ambiguous information back at you. So you might see some good results, you might see some bad results, you might see some neutral results. But when you're hyper-focused and you maintain a specific frequency most of the time, the average of that frequency becomes your dominant vibration. The universe is going to consistently try to find ways to send you back positivity. There will always be things that come and blindside you, little hurdles along the way. Those are normal part of the consequence of just being alive in the third dimension, yin and yang. But for the most part, you'll shift into a solutions provider mindset, and you'll be able to overcome most of those very easily. They'll be like a joke to you, and you'll consistently move toward the future version of yourself that you desire. The quantum field doesn't care about your words. It's going to respond to your coherent frequency between your heart and your brain. Those are the two features that we have as human beings in the third dimension that really create the strongest vibration and signal and allow us to stand within our dominant frequency. Okay? And so these are some of the things that we teach inside the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. We created this incredible academy where I have this incredible group of coaches and myself being a mentor to teach you these fundamental principles of life, self-improvement, manifestation, in this case, brain-heart coherence, and many, many other teachings, all the way from ancient wisdom to modern science to everything in between, financial literacy, wealth building, and even how to manifest abundance. All these things are being taught in the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. And we have over 1,200 incredible souls in there right now. I call them leaders. Leaders to the new world. It's your new tribe, and it's time to find your tribe. So I'd love for you to click that link in my caption or in my bio and join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy today and come join the tribe. Okay, take a journey with us, a journey to become the best version of yourself.